I know I have a lot of viewers who don't like or watch football. Trust me, you'll enjoy this video. You don't need to understand football at all to understand critiques of a billion-dollar company and hear the stories of those who try to challenge them. In the year 2005, EA and the NFL entered an exclusive licensing deal. From there on out, no other company could make NFL football games. Football fans went from multiple games to pick from to just Madden. One of the biggest reasons behind this was because NFL 2K5 released at a $20 price tag. This caused EA to drop Madden's price tag that year to $30 to compete. EA, after not gaining the money they would have likely had if NFL 2K5 didn't drop their price so low, had an idea. Eliminate all competition. I mean, how could EA compete with NFL 2K5? 2K5 is considered by many as the greatest football game ever made, and it was so much cheaper than Madden. After EA obtained the NFL license exclusively, 2K did try a football game again a few years later.
All Pro Football 2K8 has to be one of the most underrated sports games ever made. It didn't have the NFL license thanks to EA buying exclusive rights to that license, but it made up for it with the greatest on-field experience of any football video game ever. It came out in 2007, yet does almost everything better in terms of gameplay than Madden ever has to this day. From the authentic portrayal of physics, to the beautiful animations for dropbacks, pocket formations, and windups, to the amazing ball trajectory, this is a game that you can play today, in 2020, and still be wowed by it. Check out my retrospective on the game if you want to hear me go more in depth on it. Of course, 2K8 lacked a true franchise mode, instead having a single season mode, which holds it back quite a lot. The sad truth is, despite how incredible this game was overall, it didn't sell well because the casual players only care about one thing: NFL teams and NFL roster. While I think a new All-Pro Football title would sell much better today due to how bad Madden has gotten, it could never outsell a licensed NFL game.
Let's fast forward to more recent years now. Every year, new football games come out to try to be the Madden killer, or at least a good alternative to Madden. You'd think you need to be a madman to challenge the Madden monopoly. I mean, how could a small studio or just like one person challenge them? I mean, 2K couldn't even do it. Well, most of these games get forgotten about. Like, when was the last time you thought about the game Mutant Football League? It's only like 3 years old, which, I mean, in terms of sports games, it's pretty much a decade, but nonetheless, I've never played it. But just by watching videos of people playing it and reading reviews, it seems like a well-made game. It's obviously not supposed to be a realistic simulation football game. It's an M-rated comedic 7-on-7 arcade-style football game that is a spiritual successor to an old EA Sports game called Mutant League Football. I cannot believe they didn't get sued for just switching 2 words around, but okay. The game is bloody. Your players can die. You can bribe the ref, and so much more. It looks good visually speaking, and the gameplay looks fun. One thing I like about this game that I've never played is the fact they figured out how to technically get actual real-life players within the game. They just spoofed the names. For example, Bomb Shady is Tom Brady. And from my understanding, all the players control just as you'd expect. Wham Neutron, which is Cam Newton, is a scrambler quarterback, and Bomb Shady is a pocket passer. I think this game could have been more successful if it was an E10 and up rated game, but then again, it probably wouldn't have been as charming, so who am I to judge? Anyways, do you remember Gridiron Champions? You know, that game that was announced like 4 years ago and still hasn't released? It was supposed to bring back greatness in college football games for current gen consoles. It looked promising. Well, recently, the company Immaculate Vision Gaming claimed they were scammed out of $300,000. The game appears to be no more. They have locked their Twitter account. That's when you know it's serious. Fun fact, I thought Immaculate Vision Gaming was run by YouTuber iMaverick up until I researched this video, which makes this situation a million times less funnier to me because iMaverick wrote one of the greatest tweets of all time unintentionally. And I was gonna make like a whole joke. I was gonna make fun of him for this tweet, but I'm already talking about it, so I might as well just fucking make fun of him. Alright, here we go. What Hitler did was whack. But if he were alive doing that today, I'd be praying for him to grow and change, like I pray for Jones. I also believe in justice being served on him like I do for Jones. And if Hitler were my homie, I'd be drawing as close as I could to help him change. If Hitler were my homie, I'd be hoping for the... I don't think he would have gotten as much shit as he did if he made this point about growth and change without the phrases, what Hitler did was whack, and if Hitler were my homie. Anyways, back on track. Even with the blunder of Gridiron Champions, college football games have made their way back on current gen consoles. And they actually got football legend Doug Flutie to be the face of the game, and he's in the game. Doug Flutie's Maximum Football 2019 was something, alright? This game looks like it was on the Wii in 2010. Why is there no catching animation? It just cuts to the touchdown celebration animation. To be fair, the game was only made by like 3 people, and this clip I just showed you was something I recorded on day 1 of the release. This has probably been fixed. Yeah, they fixed it. Okay, cool. I'm still not gonna play this game though. Why should I when I can just play Madden 19? I'll just stick to that. It's better in every way possible. But on the bright side, they were regularly updating the game and interacting with their fan base on social media. So it's not like they just took the money they made with the game and ran, which I have high respect for. But this was not worth the $30. Maybe 10 or 15, but not 30. Doug Flutie's Maximum Football 2020 looks like a major improvement from what I've seen so far, but only time will tell. Oh, remember Joe Montana Football was supposed to come back? This was announced in 2014 and I have no idea what the fuck happened. I think it was a mobile game that turned into a VR project that never came out. Or maybe this was just a massive like troll op. Maybe it was just a way for Joe Montana to get his name out there. I have no idea. Hey, what about the Axis Football series? Axis Football is a simulation football series that has been around for a decade, kinda. It originally started off as a Flash game in 2010 and has been releasing yearly as a simulation football game since 2015. They have a small but loyal community who really wants to see this game do well and be good. While I'm not going to pay for another $30 football game to find out how mediocre it probably is, credit to where credit is due. They are the only one of these games to actually release on mobile and Xbox alongside their PC release. And they do appear to have the deepest franchise mode of all video games being released right now, including Madden, and that's really all this game has going for itself. In the latest release, the graphics look like something from 2008 on the PS2, and the gameplay has been described as being similar to Madden 04. Take that as you will. We could do this all day with looking back at football games that were supposed to be the Madden killer, or at least a good alternative to what EA has been serving us these past few years. These games either never come out, are not really good, or are not commercial successes. Well, I think Mutant Football League wasn't a commercial success. I'm just assuming. I never hear anybody talk about it, and it doesn't seem to have an active player base, judging by their subreddit. But it's been ported to all consoles, including the Nintendo Switch, so maybe it did okay, I don't fucking know. Anyways, I think we might have a football game that could actually be a commercial success in front of us. Sunday Rivals is a game developed by just one dude. His company or studio or whatever is called 26K. The game ditches the realistic graphics that all these games go after and goes for a low poly look, which I feel fits nice with a football game and is a smart choice. Indie or small teams football games always go for the simulation gameplay and realistic graphical approach because they want to be the Madden killer. Even though that's impossible because EA literally holds a monopoly on the football gaming world and they have all the money in the world to make their game look as good as possible. It's a fight you can't win. These games are doomed to fail because why wouldn't I just buy Madden? It's better in every way. They got the NFL license, the best graphics, the most content within any football game. But with Sunday Rivals going with a unique art style for a football game, and along with the arcade playstyle, it has really set itself apart from Madden in all the other competition. The game doesn't need or want to be the Madden killer, it just wants to be a fun alternative football game. Also, the much cheaper price point is nice. I got the game for $12, but that's the day one price. I believe it's now going for $20, which is still cheaper than every other football game released every year. I'm going to critique the game now a little bit, just to remember, this is not the final product, it's in early access. The game is fun and exciting, you feel every hit and it feels so satisfying when you knock your opponent on their ass. The base game is there, although it does have its fair share of flaws and issues that need to be fixed. First off, the down placement is whack. The creator has acknowledged this and it has probably been fixed or improved by the time you're watching this. Secondly, the keyboard and mouse support is not good at all. I ordered a controller to play this game, but it didn't arrive on day one of the game's release, so I played with keyboard and mouse. I really had no idea how to throw to the player I wanted to, but I figured out that left click goes to A, so I just consistently went to my A receiver. Sometimes I clicked right click and just hoped for the best. I also ran it a lot because I had trouble figuring it out who to throw it to. I've made jokes about this in the past that football games are games that can really only be enjoyed with a controller, not mouse and keyboard, which is true for the most part, but it would be nice instead of A, it just said key or what click I needed to press to throw to that player. EA figured out how to make Madden playable on mouse and keyboard. I think this guy could easily figure out how to copy what they did. Thirdly, there is no online multiplayer, which I feel lacking this feature will make a lot of people not buy it. Hopefully it will be added in the future. Fourthly, the clock system is kinda confusing. The developer has explained it better, but I'd like to have the choice of a regular clock system. And lastly, the CPU could use some improvements. Also, there is only one difficulty on the normal play now mode, which sucks. There should be at least more than one. I think there should be 3. Rookie, Pro, and All Sunday. You see what I did there? So that's all I really gotta say. I know it probably sounds like I fucking hated this game, but I really liked it. It's good fun and I'm sure it's more fun with friends. By the time you're watching this video, there's a chance all of these problems could have been fixed, especially if you're watching this video a few months after I release it. As I was wrapping this video up, the developer released a big update. If I were you, I'd recommend checking it out and maybe purchasing it. I got a few hours of entertainment out of it, and I'm sure I will get a few more. I think a free, toned-down version of this game for phones could be a serious competitor to Madden Mobile, or Overdrive, or whatever they are calling it this year. The game has that low poly look, so it shouldn't take too much space off your phone, and the look kinda reminds me of the mobile game Crossy Roads, which isn't an insult. I think since that game is so popular, football fans who like that game might try this on their phone because it looks similar. So kids, what is the lesson here today? Madden holds a monopoly on football games. No one is really going to play a football game without the NFL license. I mean, some diehards will, but it is impossible to have major commercial success. And because of the monopoly they hold, they have no reason to do anything interesting and can pretty much release the same game with minor updates every year. Why? Because why wouldn't they? they have no serious competition. Doing big updates to the next edition of Madden costs money, and they are going to make a lot of money every year, so just fuck it. But there is some good news. Why do you think EA added the yard? Because the NFL is now letting 2K develop a non-simulation football game. My best guess is they'll make something similar like NFL Blitz. Will it be good? Hopefully. Imagine a non-EA football game succeeding well along with the continued angerment of the football gaming community. Recently, SoftDrinkTV, the guy at the beginning of this video, has been leading a Twitter charge against EA and has gotten 2 hashtags trending pretty high on Twitter and has had mainstream media coverage about these hashtags. So hopefully one day, the NFL allows more companies to make NFL games and breed competition, and we can have better football gaming experiences once again.